Welcome to the Past in Pictures channel. Be sure to subscribe and like so you don't miss out on more videos like this one.
Jay Green, flight director at the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, monitored the Space Shuttle Challenger mission on January 28, 1986, when the spacecraft suffered a major failure shortly after launch and its 7 crew members did not return. The episode had worldwide impact and led to a review of procedures and safety in American space missions. In 1913, in the United States, some families used loopholes in postal rules to transport small children between places. This unusual practice revealed the quirks of the mail system at the time and led to changes in the rules, highlighting the evolution of public services and the need to set clearer standards. Marilyn Monroe, a 20th century cultural icon, was photographed in 1953 by Misha Pels, revealing the striking presence and glamour that defined her film career. This image strengthened her role in entertainment and popular culture, reflecting values and feminine standards present in the 1950s. Jonathan, the tortoise recorded between 1882 and 1886 at Plantation House on St. Helena Island, is a symbol of animal longevity and is still alive today. His record highlights wildlife preservation in isolated places and the fascination with species that live across centuries, linking the colonial past to the environmental present. The steamship Princess May ran aground in August 1910 on the reefs of Sentinel Island in Alaska, marking an important episode in local navigation. The incident revealed the dangers faced by vessels and contributed to improvements in sea routes and warning signals, increasing safety in the Arctic. The German submarine U-118, stranded on Hastings Beach in 1919, symbolizes the end of World War I naval operations and the surrender of German forces. This scene reflects the Allied victory, marking the dismantling of the enemy navy and control of the seas, influencing Europe's geopolitical order. The powerful 1906 earthquake in San Francisco caused major damage to the city and affected many historic buildings. This episode marked United States history, leading to revised building standards and reorganized emergency policies, influencing measures later adopted in major urban centers. A British soldier newly evacuated from Dunkirk in 1940 emotionally reunites with his daughters after the major operation that removed hundreds of thousands of service members from French beaches during the German advance. This return symbolized resistance and hope during World War II. Operation Baby Lift, carried out in 1975, transferred more than 3,300 Vietnamese children without guardians to the United States and other countries during the fall of Saigon. This humanitarian action symbolized the social consequences of the Vietnam War and the international effort to offer protection to children amid political instability. Korean families moved on December 21, 1950, toward the port of Hungnam in North Korea during the advance of Chinese and North Korean forces. The evacuation marked the withdrawal of United Nations troops and highlighted the hardships faced by civilians during a decisive period of the Korean War. In 1952, dinosaur tracks were excavated along the banks of the Paluxy River in Texas, revealing fossils that became an important milestone for the study of paleontology in the United States. These discoveries expanded knowledge about the presence and behavior of dinosaurs in North America. Fred Rogers performed a bedside solo show for 7-year-old Beth Usher during her coma after surgery for Rasmussen's encephalitis at Johns Hopkins Children's Hospital in February 1987. His action shows a commitment to the emotional comfort of hospitalized children and influenced more compassionate pediatric care. Stephen Hawking and his wife Jane, photographed in 1965, symbolized the beginning of a key partnership for the British physicist who revolutionized cosmology. Married before his discoveries about black holes and radiation, their mutual support was crucial in facing the limits of illness and building his legacy. The costume test for the winged monkey from The Wizard of Oz, done in 1939, marked an advance in the art of visual effects and makeup for film. The creation of this costume helped bring the flying characters to life, making them essential to the story and pop culture while influencing generations in the development of scenic design. In the early 20th century, the California Alligator Farm featured a child in an attraction with young alligators, reflecting curiosity about wildlife and the popularity of exotic displays. The scene reveals practices now considered unusual and the mixed relationship between people, animals, and local tourism. Hermann Goering, a member of Germany's high leadership at the time, displayed an exercise horse in the gym of his Cairnhall villa before another government official in October 1937. The record, made before World War II, shows the display of status and concern with image among influential figures in German power. Vladimir Putin, during his teenage years in the 1960s in a Soviet context, reflects the strict and repressive environment of the Soviet Union during the Cold War. This phase was crucial to his personal development, influencing his later path that would decisively affect world geopolitics in the 21st century. Wyatt Berry. Stap Earp was a legendary figure of the American Old West, known as a sheriff and participant in the famous episode at the OK Corral in 1881. His role amid the instability of frontier towns symbolized the gradual transition toward a structure of legal order in the western United States. The Pan Am Martin Clipper, an iconic aircraft from 1936, symbolizes the start of luxury commercial aviation, offering more space and comfort than many modern planes. This advance marked the expansion of international air travel and helped popularize air transportation, laying foundations for globalization. New York's electric taxis in 1902 marked urban mobility history by introducing vehicles powered by electricity, a clean and quiet alternative to steam and combustion cars. This advance came before later debates about sustainability and influenced public transportation afterward. The Loaner Porsche, created in 1902, was one of the first hybrid vehicles, combining a gas engine that generated power to charge batteries that fed electric motors in all four wheels. This innovation came before modern electric mobility and influenced the auto industry. Workers, like this New York laborer in 1930, faced enormous risks while building skyscrapers that changed the skyline. Vertical growth symbolized urban modernization and the strength of American industrialization, despite poor conditions that later pushed advances in safety laws. The Empire State Building, completed in 1931, symbolized the ambition and industrial progress of the United States during the Great Depression. Steelworkers, like the one waving on the 88th floor, took part in the construction that created the world's tallest skyscraper, a milestone in engineering and New York's urban development. The Beatles prepare for the cover of their last album, released in 1969 in London, marking the closing of one of rock's most influential phases. This moment symbolized the band's transition and the changing music scene, influencing fashion, counterculture, and global music while securing their lasting legacy. The first Super Bowl in National Football League history brought together the rival National Football League and American Football League in a matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Kansas City Chiefs on January 15, 1967. This event marked the consolidation of professional American football in the United States, becoming a major annual sports celebration of huge importance. John F. Kennedy visited the National Aeronautics and Space Administration Missile Test Center at Cape Canaveral in 1962, strengthening the United States' commitment to the space race during the Cold War. His support accelerated the Apollo program, leading to the moon landing in 1969, a symbol of technological progress and political supremacy. Fidel Castro, during a stop in Gander, Canada on December 24, 1976, was recorded sliding on a toboggan near James Patton Memorial Hospital. This rare relaxed record happened amid Cold War tensions, showing a leader outside the political setting and symbolizing the complexity of relations at the time. Fidel Castro, leader of the Cuban Revolution, visited the Thomas Jefferson Memorial in Washington District of Columbia in 1959, shortly after the revolutionary victory that turned Cuba into a socialist state. This symbolic visit marked the beginning of growing political tensions between Cuba and the United States during the Cold War. Arnold Schwarzenegger visited Moscow in 1988 as the Cold War was beginning to wind down, attracting large crowds in the Soviet Union. His presence symbolized a rare cultural exchange between the West and the Soviet bloc, reflecting important political changes that would lead to the end of the regime. Danny Trejo and Antonio Banderas met on the set of Desperado, released in 1995, which renewed action and thriller cinema inspired by the Mexican world. The film popularized a vibrant visual style and complex characters, influencing generations and expanding the visibility of Latin American actors. The Australian band AC/DC, photographed in London in 1976, left a major mark on hard rock, deeply influencing world music. This period began the career that would transform rock with a raw, intense, and energetic sound, impacting generations and establishing a powerful style. In 1967, Jimi Hendrix and Eric Clapton shared a historic meeting at the Speakeasy Club in London, a symbol of the peak of British and American rock. This gathering marked the convergence of generations that revolutionized the electric guitar, deeply influencing modern music and youth culture worldwide. Marilyn Monroe, a pop culture icon of the 1950s, appears in a line to buy a hot dog in New York. In 1957, she was already a Hollywood star, symbolizing the glamour and modernity of the era. The photo also shows everyday life in the rising post-war city, reflecting social and cultural changes in the United States. Before becoming a movie icon, Marilyn Monroe was photographed in 1947, caring for 2 babies, revealing a lesser-known side of her. This moment shows everyday life before fame, with the hardships and simplicity of an era when women often carried domestic duties while seeking social advancement. Grace Kelly, an icon of elegance and charm in the 1950s, was photographed by Milton H. Greene in 1953, strengthening her image as a star and style icon. The photo reflects the glamour of Hollywood's golden age before she became Princess of Monaco, marking the passage between pop culture and aristocracy. Alain Delon and Romy Schneider, stars of European cinema, appear in Cannes in 1962, a year of cultural energy on the French Riviera, home of the film festival. Their meeting symbolizes the golden age of French cinema, which influenced world culture and established Cannes as a center of film art. Brigitte Bardot, an iconic French actress and style reference, starred in Les Novices in 1970, a period marked by cultural change after 1968. Her image influenced fashion and women's freedom, reflecting a changing society that sought to express new values of independence and personal expression. Brooke Shields, a standout in early 1980s cinema, starred in Endless Love in 1981, a film that marked her career by addressing emotional relationships and growing up in youth. Her image reflected cultural changes and debates about the representation of teenagers in the media influencing the female presence in cinema. Samantha Fox was a British pop icon and model famous in the 1980s, first known as a pin-up before launching a music career. Her style and presence at social events secured her place in pop culture, influencing fashion and music trends with lasting international impact. Jane Russell stood out as an actress and cultural symbol during Hollywood's golden age, leaving her mark on 20th century cinema with her presence and style. Her influence went beyond the big screen, contributing to changes in beauty and feminine standards in the entertainment industry, reflecting social change. Diane Keaton emerged as a cultural icon in the 1970s, standing out for her unique style and roles in films that defined the decade's cinema. Her image, with expressive clothing and accessories, reflected a search for freedom and authenticity, influencing social trends and strengthening women's empowerment. Britt Ekland, a prominent Swedish actress of the 1960s, symbolizes the cultural and artistic changes of the period with her striking style and roles in iconic films of that era. Her work in 1968 supported the rise of women in cinema, reflecting the decade's important social change. Sherry Cafaro starred in the film Too Hot to Handle, directed by Don Shane in 1977 during the peak of independent action cinema in the 1970s. The production stood out for its fast-moving story and determined female characters, reflecting cultural changes that expanded women's presence on screen. Ian McKellen is a renowned British actor whose career began in theatre between the 1960s and 1980s, a period when he built his reputation through major classical roles. His work was important in valuing British theatre and its transition to film, where he reached worldwide recognition. Vero Ellen was a renowned American dancer and actress of the 1950s, known for her technique and elegance in ballet and movie musicals. In 1954, her talent helped strengthen Hollywood's musical era, expanding the reach of dance and artistic entertainment. Ronnie Spector and Dusty Springfield are icons of 1960s pop music, shown in a casual meeting recorded in 1964 that highlights the cultural connection between British and American artists of the time. This exchange strengthened the mutual influence that defined the era and drove several global music movements. Rosalind Russell and her husband, Freddie Brisson, took part in the Hollywood Canteen in 1942, a club that offered free entertainment to service members during World War II. The place raised soldiers' morale and promoted national unity, reflecting the entertainment industry's effort to support the troops. In 1945, Marlene Dietrich was a symbol of resistance and support for Allied troop morale during World War II, especially in New York, where her performances boosted morale on the home front. Her presence represented the role of celebrities in social mobilization during the conflict. Aretha Franklin, beside the Blues Brothers in 1980, symbolizes the fusion of soul and blues in pop culture, reflecting the energy of African American roots in music. This iconic collaboration expanded the influence of these genres, strengthening jazz and rhythm and blues in the world scene of the time. Sugar Ray Robinson, one of the greatest boxers of all time, shaped the sport with his talent and technique between the 1940s and 1960s. In 1962, he helped popularize boxing globally, inspiring generations in the fight against racial and social prejudice during that period. The motorized chariot race in New South Wales, Australia, in 1936 was an innovation in motorsports, combining motorcycle speed with the excitement of ancient competitions. This event highlighted the creativity of the time and influenced future formats, expanding fascination with unusual contests. In 1955, the toddler race at Palisades Park, New Jersey, brought children together in a community event similar to the Olympic Games, celebrating innocence and local sportsmanship. With characters like Donut Dan and Palisades Pete, the initiative strengthened community life and suburban leisure in the 1950s. In the summer of 1929, an intense heat wave hit the United States with temperatures above 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, affecting daily life. The photograph shows wax figures in typical bathing suits, symbolizing an attempt to capture the mood of this extreme episode that influenced social behavior and consumption. Îles et Seychelles, mentioned in the caption, refers to the beaches of the Seychelles Islands known for their preserved nature. The popularization of the bikini in tropical places symbolizes freedom and appreciation for contact with nature, reinforcing the social impact of sustainable tourism on the local economy and conservation. During the heat wave in Berlin in 1926, workers looked for unusual relief, such as a businessman and his secretary using a pool to ease the heat while working with a typewriter. This episode shows adaptations in Germany between the wars and the tension between work and leisure during environmental and economic strain. In the 1980s, photo booths like this changed the way personal moments were recorded in public spaces, offering an instant and affordable experience for a broad audience. This advance democratized photography, expanding personal expression and documentation before the digital age. Hairdressing students practiced using blades by carefully shaving a balloon in 1959, training precise and delicate skills. This practice reflected the growing professionalization of beauty techniques in the 1950s, establishing hairdressing as both a technical and artistic profession after the war. During the Gallipoli campaign in 1916, Australian soldiers detained a Turkish fighter camouflaged as vegetation, a technique used in World War I operations. The episode shows the strategies used in that setting and the Allied effort that deeply shaped the military memory of Australia and Turkey. Maria Ginesta, 17 years old, symbolizes women's participation in the Spanish Civil War of 1937, a conflict between Republicans and nationalists. Her image with a rifle in Barcelona shows civilian involvement in defending the Republic, highlighting women's role in anti-fascist resistance and the social divisions of the time. Union veterans gathered with scouts in 1938 to celebrate the 75th anniversary of the Battle of Gettysburg, a decisive milestone in the American Civil War. This event strengthened collective memory of the fight to preserve the Union and abolish slavery, influencing United States national identity in the 20th century. Mechanics from the Women's Royal Air Force in 1918 played a key role in maintaining Avro 504 aircraft during World War I, marking women's decisive entry into the war effort. This changed social views of women's abilities and opened the way for new opportunities after the war. In the 1940s, because of fossil fuel shortages caused by wars and crises, wood gas began to be used for motor vehicles. This system burned wood to produce fuel, allowing transportation to continue during rationing and showing technological resilience in the face of challenges. During World War II, the haircut at military training camps symbolized the transformation from civilian to soldier. This practice was essential for uniformity and discipline, reflecting the United States' effort to prepare troops quickly and shaping the spirit of the armed forces. In 1939, London adapted to the start of World War II with improvised civil protection structures against possible air raids. The use of special equipment and clothing symbolized public preparedness, marking a moment of urban resistance that strengthened social mobilization in defense of the city. Silver mining in Colorado between 1870 and 1890 drove economic and population growth in the American West. Workers used manual techniques on the terrain of Cheyenne Mountain, supporting settlement and regional development, which influenced the social and economic structure of the 19th century United States. In rural Montana, in the late 19th century, saddling a wild horse symbolized the hard life of cowboys on the American frontier. This period marked westward expansion, essential to the economic and cultural development of the United States, while also intensifying social conflicts. The construction of the Columbia and Puget Sound Railroad in 1879 was crucial to the economy of the northwestern United States, making it easier to move lumber and resources quickly between regions. It boosted industrial and urban development, connected markets, and supported territorial expansion at the time. In 1891, workers in Idaho built a wooden water flume, vital for bringing water resources to expanding rural areas in the western United States. This initiative reflected the pioneering infrastructure effort on the frontier, essential for agricultural development and settlement in remote regions. In the Kankakee region of Georgia in 1881, winemaking tradition shaped local culture, known for producing wine in large ceramic vessels called cuve-evry. This ancestral fermentation method highlighted the historical importance of winemaking in Georgian identity and cultural heritage. In 1912, Germany innovated by using airplanes to carry mail, a milestone in postal aviation that came before the development of air services. This initiative increased the speed of communication and pushed advances in civil aviation, affecting global logistics in the following decades. William C. Hobson was a pilot for the United States Mail Service in 1926, at a crucial time for postal aviation in the United States. His work was vital in strengthening airmail service, facing harsh winter conditions and limited technology, speeding up modernization, and making mail delivery faster and more reliable. Dr. Evarts Graham conducted pioneering research in the 1950s to investigate the harmful effects of smoking products, collecting smoke residue for analysis. His work was fundamental in establishing the connection between this habit and serious diseases, influencing public health policies and prevention campaigns in many countries. The construction of New York's water supply system between 1906 and 1915 was an advance in urban engineering, ensuring safe supply during the city's growth. This project created vital infrastructure that improved public health and supported development, transforming access to drinking water. In August 1973, the cooling towers of the John Amos coal-fired power plant in West Virginia dominated the landscape near the Canaveral River, close to Polka, showing the rapid expansion of the energy industry in the United States. This growth brought jobs and debates about pollution and local environmental impact. A steam locomotive crossing Detroit in 1950 illustrates the transition between traditional rail transportation and the rise of the automobile, a symbol of industrial growth. This moment highlights Detroit as an automotive center and the modernization of urban infrastructure in post-war economic development. In the 1940s, the delivery of Ford automobiles by train symbolized industrial expansion and mobility in the United States. This logistics system allowed fast national distribution, boosting the economy, transforming transportation, and establishing Ford as a leader in mass production and technological progress at the time. In the 1920s and 1930s, repair shops like Lube Seal were essential to the fast growth of the automobile sector. Preventive maintenance and the proper use of lubricants helped vehicles last longer, boosting urban mobility in the auto industry, both vital to the economy of the time. In 1927, Ford vehicles traveled along rural roads toward Bothell, Washington, showing the growth of mobility in the interior United States. The expansion of these roads supported regional development, influencing the economic and social growth of communities far from urban centers. In 1947, Christian Dior's collection made a major impact on fashion by launching the New Look, which revolutionized women's clothing after World War II with its curvy and luxurious silhouette. This milestone symbolized Europe's economic and cultural recovery, promoting a new era of elegance and optimism in Paris and around the world. The evolution of women's swimsuits between 1875 and 1927 reflects deep social and cultural changes. Clothing moved from long and restrictive models to lighter and more practical garments, symbolizing women's freedom and appreciation of the body while following new ideals of health and leisure. Grant Wood, an American painter, immortalized rural life in the 1930 work American Gothic, portraying a couple that symbolizes the strictness and austerity of the Great Depression. The painting became a cultural landmark by reflecting social and economic tensions, influencing the identity of the American heartland for decades. Expressionist artist George Gross posed in 1919 dressed as an allegorical figure, symbolizing disillusionment with the trauma of World War I and the instability of the Weimar Republic. His critical work exposed social and political tensions, influencing an artistic movement focused on the injustices of the time. The oldest photograph linked to news records the arrest of a man in France in 1847, marking a milestone in photojournalism. This record shows the early use of photography to document real and everyday events, influencing how visual information affects society and journalism. Before the era of widescreen plasma televisions, Punch and Judy shows were popular entertainment in London around 1910, with puppets performing humorous and satirical stories. This spectacle reflected the British urban setting and influenced 20th century popular culture. The New Hampshire Orphans' Home operated between 1871 and 1959 on Daniel Webster's farm as a state orphanage that took in vulnerable children. Under the direction of J. Noyes, it was an important social effort to shelter and educate orphans, reflecting the challenges of social assistance in the 19th and 20th century United States. Marcia Pinkenfield, at 6 months old, won the contest The Most Beautiful Child in America in 1927, reflecting the beauty and cultural standards of the time. This event highlighted the value placed on childhood in the United States, influencing advertising campaigns and building an ideal image of childhood innocence between the wars. Photographed in France in 1959, the image shows the joy of childhood through the affectionate interaction between children and a cat in an urban setting with cobblestones and old architecture. It captures the simplicity of life in post-war Europe, marked by social recovery and appreciation for everyday moments. Lucette Desmoulins appears in this image from the 1920s as a symbol of youth and social changes after World War I. She represents the modern woman who questioned traditional standards, contributing to cultural changes that strengthened women's independence and expanded their role in society. In 1958, beauty classes at the Helena Rubinstein Salon in New York reflected women's search for beauty improvement and professional independence after the war. This environment broadened access to personal care techniques, influencing beauty standards and valuing the modern woman. Members of a German fraternity took a self-portrait in 1912, capturing the student culture of the time, marked by traditions and strict uniforms. This group strengthened social and ideological ties before World War I, reflecting conservative and nationalist values that influenced the European climate. Women's fashion in the early 20th century reflected social change by bringing elegance through long dresses, delicate lace, and wide decorated hats, while men's clothing kept strict and formal traditions. This style symbolized the search for status and cultural standards in the cities of the time. An undercover police officer in Brooklyn, New York on July 1, 1969, symbolizes law enforcement efforts to contain urban crime in a decade marked by social tensions. The work of these officers was important in confronting crime and protests, reflecting changes in public safety. The Swedish policewoman on patrol during the harsh winter of the 1970s symbolizes the growing presence of women in law enforcement during a period of social change in Sweden. That decade marked progress in gender equality, reflected in the expanded participation of women in the police. Dance in Burkina Faso during the 1960s and 1970s reflected the cultural richness of the newly independent country, achieved in 1960. This period marked the affirmation of national identity through art and traditions, strengthening social bonds in a post-colonial setting that valued African roots and cultural resistance. In the early 20th century, an Eskimo doctor was important to Arctic communities by treating respiratory illnesses attributed to bad spirits. This ritual combined folk medicine and spiritual beliefs, playing a vital role in local health in a harsh environment while preserving ancestral knowledge alongside Western medicine. In the 1970s and 1980s, the United States coastline became a stage for cultural actions and protests that mixed humor with social criticism. Signs like "You are headed for hell" showed the tension between liberal behavior and conservative morals, revealing conflicts that shaped debates about freedom and customs. In 1942, the streets of large American cities glowed with vehicle traffic and nightlife, reflecting urban resilience during World War II. People kept commerce and leisure active, strengthening morale at home and leaving a legacy in 20th century city culture. The 1955 record of a European man with very high body weight reflects the social and public health concerns of the time, when weight-related conditions gained more attention. The image follows post-war lifestyle changes and debates about wellness and preventive medicine that emerged during that period. The phrase "Sunday chill" reflects a leisure moment on 21st century city beaches, where Sunday rest has become an important social ritual for many people. This phenomenon symbolizes the value placed on free time and well-being, influencing cultural and economic habits tied to tourism and beachwear.